Hello there, YouTube. Welcome to my YouTube channel. As you can tell by the name, it's about Star Wars and politics, which will be the primary content on this channel. If you like the content, like this video, subscribe, and if you don't like the content, I guess leave. So, as you can tell, today's title of the video is about the Star Wars movie Revenge of the Sith, which is what this video will be about. Revenge of the Sith, chronologically, is the third installment of the Star Wars saga. In actuality, it's the sixth movie release, because George Lucas released 4, 5, and 6 first, but that's besides the point. Now, if you go on YouTube and search Revenge of the Sith on YouTube, you'll obviously find clips from the movie. But if you go on the comments of those videos, you'll find a lot of people saying that they really enjoy Revenge of the Sith and it is the best Star Wars movie. Now, anyone with a bit of common sense can tell that it's not the best Star Wars movie. There is a bit of times some wooden acting and CGI is a bit questionable at times. But the plot is good, and you know, I don't want to spoil the plot for people who haven't watched it, so I'm not going to go into too much detail about what the movie is about. So, why do people really enjoy it then if it is objectively not as good as people say it is? Well, the main reason why is because Star Wars Revenge of the Sith came out in 2005. Now, it's obviously 2025, which would mean that the current generation of Star Wars fans on YouTube would be people who grew up with the prequels. And since people who are on the internet now that dominate grew up with the prequels, that means that they would be biased towards liking Revenge of the Sith because it's what they grew up with. Similar to how someone who grew up in the 80s would love the original 3 Star Wars movies, New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi. So that's one reason why Revenge of the Sith is so loved, even though it's objectively not the best Star Wars movie, because the people on the internet that make up the Star Wars community are filled with people who grew up with the prequels, so they'll be biased to liking Revenge of the Sith, and all the prequels for that matter. Another reason why, to be honest, I should have put a spoiler warning at the beginning of this video, but I'm going to do it now anyway. Spoiler alert for Revenge of the Sith. If you haven't watched the movie yet, please click off this video right now. It's going to be filled with spoilers. Alright, you got the warning. I'm going to give the second reason. The second reason why is because of the deal between Anakin and Obi-Wan towards the end of the movie. This is the climax of the movie and the whole entirety of the prequels. Anakin at this point has already turned to the dark side. Obi-Wan, on the other hand, is still, you know, a Jedi loyal to the light side, a Jedi Master. He has to deal Anakin on Mustafar because Anakin went there on the orders of Palpatine, who's his new master now, to slaughter the separatist leaders. So, as a result, Obi-Wan has to go there to confront Anakin, and the two of them deal. Now, the deal is choreographed really well. They are really going at each other. You can really tell the emotion, the strides, everything about that deal is peak. Now, in my opinion, it's not the best Star Wars deal. I may not have been born in the 80s, but I'm a Return of the Jedi lover. Which, who knows, maybe I'll talk about Return of the Jedi in a different video. But this video is about Revenge of the Sith, so forget about Return of the Jedi. Going back to Anakin versus Obi-Wan, the duel is just raw action. They're swinging at each other violently, ferociously. Anakin is going with all of his aggression. Obi-Wan is defending using his Form 3, which he's mastered after the Clone Wars. It all in all just encapsulates all about what the prequels were built to be. You know, this is the climax. This is like whoever wins, like the whole entire fate of the galaxy relies on this duel essentially, because whoever wins, like if Anakin wins, he's going to be reached his full potential and the whole entire galaxy is completely screwed, because Anakin at his full potential would literally be the Force itself. No questions asked. If Obi-Wan wins, then Anakin would not be able to reach his full potential, and while the galaxy would still be screwed because Palpatine at this point had already took control of the Senate and fussed the whole entire galaxy, at least Anakin would be restricted in some of his power, although still very powerful and a menace. Like I was saying, they're going at each other. You can tell the emotion. It's a tragic story, really, of Anakin's downfall. It just really is sad. Sad in a good way. And at the end of it, Anakin makes a miscalculated jump. Obi-Wan cuts his legs off and I think it's left arm, and leaves Anakin to burn, which does happen. That scene is super disturbing. I literally need to mute the TV whenever it is on. Just admitting that. Number 3 is because of Order 66. Order 66 is when the clones kill all the Jedi. Now, this is put better with the context of the Clone Wars, which, spoiler alert, the Clone Wars is when the Jedi and the clones, and they fight on the side of the Republic against the separatist droid army. The Jedi had really grown to trust the clones. So as a result, they really weren't expecting the people that they trusted, the clones, to turn on them and shoot them. And it just makes it also tragic because you see like clones like Cody, who trusted the Jedi. The moment Palpatine tells him execute Order 66, he instantly starts shooting on Obi-Wan, his commander. It's a betrayal. It's a tragic betrayal. Now, is it a complete plot twist? Not really. Something like Order 66 would happen in order to understand why there are no Jedi in episodes 4, 5, and 6, which came out first. So it's not completely predictable. However, just the way it happened was tragic and it was sad. You just weren't ready for it emotionally. It's a very emotional scene and it's very well worked by George Lucas alongside with the Anakin Obi-Wan duel. So far, 3 reasons on why people really do love Revenge of the Sith. The 4th is because, objectively speaking, it is the best of the prequels. Now, me personally, I disagree with that. I think Phantom Menace is the best of the prequels. But really, most Star Wars fans just prefer Revenge of the Sith as the best of the prequels. And like I said earlier, since most of the Star Wars fans on the internet grew up with the prequels and are going to be biased towards them, since they love Revenge of the Sith so much and think it's the best of the prequels, it's only natural that it's going to dominate polls asking, oh, what's your favorite Star Wars movie? Revenge of the Sith will win. If you ask people what the best prequel is on the internet, Revenge of the Sith will win. It's just all around loved by prequel fans, and to them it's the best of the prequels. If Phantom Menace or Attack of the Clones were viewed as the best of the prequels by Star Wars fans on the internet today, chances are one of those two would be viewed as the best Star Wars film. But because Revenge of the Sith is, it's viewed as the best Star Wars film. And 5th is because the plot is, it's tragic in a good way. So Anakin goes from the hero in the Clone Wars, the great general in the Clone Wars, leading his clones to victory. At the beginning of the movie, he defeats the evil Count Dooku who leads the Separatist army. You know, he's a hero. And then towards the end of the movie, throughout the middle, Palpatine is able to manipulate him because Anakin really loves his wife, Padme, and he has a dream that Padme dies in childbirth because Padme tells Anakin that she's pregnant. So Anakin wants to know how to save Padme from death because he loves her so much and wants to keep the people close to him alive because he lost his mother in episode 2. Palpatine tells him that only I can, teach you that power. And as a result, Anakin trusts Palpatine. And he always has trusted Palpatine since Phantom Menace occurred when he was just a small lad. Now, he tells Mace Windu that Palpatine is the Sith Lord because Palpatine does kind of admit it to Anakin. And Windu goes to deal with Palpatine, which again is an amazing deal. And Anakin walks in on their deal. And Mace, he has Palpatine on the floor with his lightsaber to his neck, ready to kill him. And Palpatine is like quarreling in the corner, like, oh no, don't kill me. That was really poor acting by me. I apologize. But Anakin is like, don't kill him, it's not the Jedi way. And Mace is like, he's too dangerous to be left alive, kill him. But Palpatine's like, no, I'm too weak, don't kill me. And then Anakin chops Windu's hand off, and Palpatine chucks Windu out the window. Yeah, so there Anakin is like, you know what? There's no turning back. I'm gonna turn to the dark side and become Palpatine's, second in line. Palpatine's assistant, his like prince, if you put it like that. I don't know the word for it. I can't speak right now. And as a result, he tells Anakin, go kill the separatists on Mustafar, which Anakin does. And he slaughters them on Mustafar. And then Obi-Wan has to deal with Anakin. He beats Anakin, Anakin gets burnt, and then Anakin becomes Darth Vader, who is the big notorious villain we all know in 4, 5, 6. That was a very oversimplified plot of Revenge of the Sith. Extremely oversimplified. I missed out on multiple things like Order 66 and General Grievous and all that. But it's fine. The main point is obviously about Anakin and how he falls. It is such a well-constructed tragedy that it's kind of hard not to view it as good. It's a very good movie, don't get me wrong. It's a very good movie with a very good tragedy, and people are ultimately going to like that. And like I said, they grew up with these prequels, so they're going to love it even more because it's what they grew up with. So, as a result, it's why it's so loved by the Star Wars community and why many people feel like it is the best when, if you look at it really closely, it's not. I mean, some of the acting is wooden, and the movie itself is a bit rushed. So, like I said, those 5 reasons... people grew up with the prequels. It has a really good lightsaber duel, Order 66. It's the best of the prequels by opinion of most Star Wars fans, and the plot is good. And as a result, that's why Revenge of the Sith is loved by most Star Wars fans. Now, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe. I'll get better at editing in the future, hopefully. My next video, which will be out tomorrow, will be about UK politics. Star Wars and politics. So anyway, thank you for watching.